very rarely do we see, mainstream gaming media sort of support Xbox or say, hey, Xbox did the right move. And I get it because, to be honest with you, Xbox oftentimes makes silly moves and does silly things that are completely wrong in the gaming sphere, right? Like, the main thing is that Microsoft is a company that kind of is a business company, right? And they're all businesses, but you have to have some kind of idea or inkling of what you're doing in the gaming stratosphere to be able to kind of do something in gaming that is going to, impress an audience or attract an audience, so to speak, right? Meaning you can't just make business decisions from a business perspective and then expect everybody to kind of jump in and, kind of fall on board or whatever. So this was an interesting video because, like I said, I haven't really seen this kind of stuff happen before where, they kind of were like, hey, Sony made the wrong choice here, Microsoft made the right choice. It's honestly just one of those kind of crazy things when you think about it. But I'm excited about this video. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be excited as well. So let's go ahead and get started. What's up, everybody? I'm The Crap Gamer, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please hit that like button. I would appreciate that as well. If you could share out the video and maybe even consider subscribing, that would be awesome. Like I said, that really helps out the channel and helps it kind of grow and things like that. So thank you guys. I do daily gaming content. If you didn't know, now you know. So it really is dependent on you guys and how you guys help out the channel. So think about that. Now, again, I'm not the biggest IGN guy. It's not something, I'm not, and I'm very honest about that. IGN, I feel like they have always had it kind of in for Xbox for a very long time. Even with that being said, I felt like this was a very interesting video where they were talking about Xbox skipping a PS5 Pro competitor. And I kind of mentioned this, right? I get why the PS5 Pro is a thing, but I also kind of want to point out that I feel like, you have to, in some ways, I wish that they would have had a competitor. I know not everybody is going to agree with that, but I really wish that they would have had a competitor at points. But at some point, you can also understand how, maybe it's a good thing that they don't. So, we'll see if this is something that works out for them or not. But it's interesting. So the PS5 Pro, with its jaw-dropping price tag, is now known quantity after months of rumors and speculation. So we kind of now have this idea of that and what's going on. A lot of people can get behind mid-gen upgrades. Console cycles can be lengthy, especially compared to other tech. The PS5 Pro is sort of a tough sell, even for the most passionate fan. That's why a lot of people believe Microsoft made the right call not to bother with its own PS5 Pro competitor. The last time we had mid-gen systems in the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, 4K TVs were becoming much more commonplace, so an upgrade that supported this tech made total sense. Additionally, Microsoft also had a weak console launch with the Xbox One in 2013, and so there was an opportunity to flip the narrative by pushing out an upgrade. That's exactly what happened, because Xbox One X was a fantastic system and arguably the one to go for compared to PS4 Pro, because it provided a bigger leap from the base Xbox One and was ultimately more powerful than the consoles that Sony had for their lineup. So there is that as well. Kind of looking at how I really hope that kind of happens. Again, we'll have to see how this kind of all changes in the future and things like that. But I can see why. Like, I personally wish they maybe would have come out with a competitor, because I'm of the feeling that Microsoft doesn't really care about the console anymore, and so maybe that would have proven that they did a bit. But I guess, we'll see what happens with this. So if we fast forward to kind of 2024, which is where we're at right now, and there's lots of different things kind of going on. The industry's in a little bit different place. Inflation has run rampant in recent years. Make sure you guys get out and vote, and this shit. in November, which has meant that prices for goods aren't coming down in the same way that they did years before. So think about this. Remember, there was like this magical price tag of like $199, $299 that would attract like the masses. We're not gonna see that anymore, right? Like Xbox has that in a console, a vastly weaker console though. So it's like one of those things. But we're never going to see those consoles drop in prices the way that they did before. Even the PlayStation DualSense controller actually costs more than it did at launch, and for hardware to remain those prices after 4 years in the market would have previously been unheard of. Now, despite that, the PS5 Pro, despite the immensely challenging times we live in, Sony has decided a mid-gen upgrade is still worth pursuing. The problem for many is the $700 price tag attached is a very, very big thing to kind of pill to swallow. It is. It feels like this generation is only just kicking into gear with the existing hardware lineup, let alone something new with the potential of the Xbox Series X and S to fully tap into over the next few years. It's easy to believe that Microsoft doesn't need another console in its lineup since they already launched with two. And again, Microsoft is struggling. The reason why so many Xboxes and all these they're struggling so much is because we haven't had those killer apps yet, and that's unfortunate. To say the least, I hope that you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from with that, because I know a lot of you guys feel a certain way about it. Now, I'm not like bashing the Xbox or PlayStation, really. I just think that maybe I can see the benefits of not having a competitor. Maybe Microsoft launches early. Something tells me they're not going to launch between, 2027. They're probably going to launch in 27 or 28, pretty much just like Sony. But they feel that since I don't really think they care that much about the hardware to begin with, that it's all good. But at the very least, I can see why some people are excited. Hell, I'm getting a PS5 Pro, but I know that it's not for everybody. Clearly, Sony's struggling to make a compelling case for the Pro because they aren't reaching the people the way they used to, and part of that is probably because there's not really competition anymore. Early previews and impressions from tech outlets like Digital Foundry are positive about PSSR, but right now it's hard to see where $700 would be going. Admittedly, looking at the benefits on the improved hardware on YouTube and not natively on a PS5 Pro, but that's the case for the majority of folks interested in buying it. So right now, we're only just getting into the territory where actual current-gen games are a thing. 2023 was really a year where both Microsoft and Sony stopped putting out games for their respective last-gen systems, and third-party developers are slowly following suit now too. Xbox clearly believes there still has room to impress on Series X and S, and has inclined to agree now that the developers are able to focus their efforts instead of worrying about last-gen stuff. Again, like it just really kind of depends. I honestly, for me anyway, I feel like it really kind of, when you see these things happen, like what is the main goal of it? Like what's the goal of these kind of things? Anyway, there was a barren spell at the start of the generation with games, along with the rest of Xbox fans, but at least we do a busier few years to come on the Series X and S. 2025 should be a good year for Xbox, although we say that every year. Xbox probably doesn't need the pricey hardware. I could see that as a opinion, but if they could have got a Xbox out there and upgrade for $500-$600, why not? You know what I mean? Because I thought that the Xbox One X was great, but they kind of handled that kind of crumbly, in my opinion, because you needed first-party software to really showcase it, and they really lacked anything like that. So, maybe something in the future can kind of change how these things are viewed. But for me, at least for right now, I look at this and I go, Microsoft could do something in the future that's going to get people excited about the brand again, but I'm not really totally pissed off that they aren't. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to be that guy, but I'm just honestly not. I'm just not angry about it. Like, I wish that there's part of me that wishes they would have come out with a X upgrade, but I can understand why they didn't, and we'll have to see how things line up with the with the Pro and how things are looking. We unfortunately we only got one part of the puzzle, and we'll have to get the rest later. So I'll link this. You guys can let me know what you think. How do you feel about no PS5 Pro competitor from Xbox? Are you torn? Let me know down below. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. We'll catch you next time. Crap Gamer out.